Right, you glorious people, I am sat in a lot of traffic and I thought I would follow up the statement I made in my previous video about how, trigger warning, I was raped when I was younger, and I was saying I could understand now how, like learning about things like the law of attraction and things like that, how to a certain degree that had been manifested. And so I accept that it is what it is, and it was what it was, and as fucked up as it is and it was, it's done. And the reason I say I can understand how the law of attraction played a part in that is because hindsight's a wonderful thing. Now, here's the thing with the law of attraction, quantum mechanics, whatever you want to call it. When you start learning about it, I think for a lot of people, they don't want to believe it because they then have to believe, or at least take accountability for the fact that they, up until this point, have played a role in the creation of their life. And I think a lot of people don't want to do that, especially when it means you've got to look at a life that has been really bad and go, well, you know what, I had a hand in that. And I don't think it's all the time our own hands, and it's our own thoughts and stuff that is actually affecting our situation. I've come to realize over the years how we manifest for other people, and how our thoughts and feelings about other people really can affect them. And I want to relating it back to this whole thing where, what happened when I was younger, and I was saying I can understand how to a certain degree that was attracted into my life. That is simply because of two factors. One, when I was younger, I felt very, before I'd lost my virginity, I felt very much like everybody was just obsessed with sex. It's all everybody talked about. At school as well, I went to school, now don't let me digress, but one of the reasons that I want my kids in school is such a highly sex place. And I remember feeling when I was younger, I just was desperate to lose my virginity. I just wanted to lose it so badly because I wanted it over and done with. I wanted to be able to say I'd done it and the deed was done, and that was it. There was no more waiting or wondering or anything. I just wanted it over and done with. Now, bear that in mind, alongside the fact that I learned a couple of years ago that my mum had me when she was quite young. She was 17. There's another story that goes with that, so many stories, but she was 17 when she had me. And she said, she just used to worry about me a lot. And as I got bigger, and as it came to the time, when you're supposed to let your kids have a bit of freedom and stuff, she couldn't really do that. She said she felt scared that I was going to get kidnapped or murdered. Those were her genuine words. She was like, I thought you were going to get kidnapped or murdered, or something bad was going to happen to you. And then, now I never said this to my mum, and now mum is happening to watch this, I don't think this was your fault like that. But what I'm saying is, for her to have those thoughts every day, to be worried that when she let her daughter out of her sight, that something very tragic would happen to her, that's exactly what happened to me. I wasn't really allowed out of the sight of my parents. Ask my friends, that's probably how I ended up rebelling so much. I had a very, very sheltered childhood. I wasn't allowed to do what all my friends were allowed to do. I wasn't allowed to go, to the parks and to the places that all my friends were at. I literally was allowed to cycle around outside the front of my house if my dad was there, and that was literally it. And so I was very sheltered, and I just remember thinking when she told me that, when she had those fears, and then how I know what happened, pretty much the minute I've stepped out of my house, I just feel to some degree she has helped to manifest that, not willingly, not knowingly, and not, and that's again another really hard thing to have to swallow. But this is the thing with, again, the law of attraction, and why a lot of people don't want to admit that it's real, because it's very real. And here's the thing, it's the hindsight, and it's that ever since I've learned about all of this, it wasn't in the beginning so easy to actually see how people manifest, with their words, with their thoughts, with their feelings, with their actions. You couldn't always see it. But now, I read The Secret when I was 19. That was my first introduction. So we're nearly 20 years later, and it has been a lot of learning, and I suppose just life being the case study, and understanding and seeing everybody around me just literally manifesting every single thing all the time that they have put out there. I now really understand how much this shit works in your life. So I'm now able to offer a perspective, and I can look back and look at certain things and go, I can see why that happened. I can see why that happened. Now, nobody obviously is going around trying to manifest themselves a bag of shit, but if you're not aware of the power that you have, with your thoughts and stuff, you could just be very unknowingly fucking up your life, which I think, that's what I did. That's what, to a certain degree, my mum played a role in, because she had those thoughts and feelings. And I know that's really deep, and I know that's not to say, but that is, I just wanted to say that, and I wanted to clear that up, because I know, like, to say something so tragic happened and to then say, oh, you know, everything happens to a reason, or I can understand how that's been manifested, is like, it's not a nice thing to say, and it's not a nice thing to hear, because for a lot of people who would be, and myself included, again, like, do you think that was anything I really wanted to swallow? But I've always been someone who, when I'm wrong, I can stand up and say I'm wrong, or when something's clearly staring you in the face, I can go, hey, like I see things clearly. And this, for me, the fact that we manifest our reality, to me, clearly is a fucking fact. But it's taken this long and you know, this much understanding and piecing it all together to actually get to this point, which is why I can say this. And I don't expect a lot of you to even agree with me. I just wanted to share my experience and how this, you know, this has played out in my life, because I don't know, this stuff is really fucking interesting, to say the least. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up that waffle, because I keep seeing the police, and as much as I'm not actually on my phone, because I'd never do that while I was driving, I should probably get off of it. Anyway, I'm not Dr. Tamara, not a flipping doctor, but you should definitely subscribe to my channel and follow me and do all of those jazzy things, so we can, I don't know, figure out this life together and make it better together. Anyway, I love you all very much, and I'll speak to you soon.